Usually this is the part where I say, another day, another loaf. But it's not another day. And this isn't just any other loaf. Why, you ask? Because this is the 100th loaf that I have made for you, my friends. The 100th loaf of daily bread that I have baked up and delivered to your door on demand. And so for this special 100th anniversary edition of the Daily Bread, I thought I would quote someone who isn't an ancient philosopher, who isn't a prophet. In fact, the person that I would like to quote to you today, you've never heard of before. His name is Dan, and he is a friend of mine. I met Dan in the last few years online through one of the many philosophy or spirituality groups that I'm a part of. And Dan, I believe you're working on a book right now, and I hope it's going well for you, brother. But there's something that Dan posted in one of these groups one time, and I immediately sent him a message, and I said, Dan, what's the source? Who said this? And he said, I did. So I nodded, and I thought, I'm taking that. That's mine now. Because the words that he shared with us in that group were simple yet profound, impactful, wise, reasonable. And I just had to write it down in my own personal book. I needed to remember. And so today I want to share this quote with you, and it goes something like this. To ignore the wise is madness. To follow them blindly is also madness. Seek good guidance. Be responsible for your own footsteps. You see what I'm saying? Dan is onto something. Dan understands. To ignore the wise is madness. But to follow the wise blindly is also madness. See, Dan and I, we share this in common. We're both fans of the middle way. Not any particular middle way, not the Buddhist middle way, and not the Taoist middle way, but the middle way, period. We're allergic to extremes. We rebel against false dichotomies. And so even when it comes to the wise ones, even when it comes down to Marcus Aurelius, or Lao Tzu, or Krishna, or Jesus, or Muhammad, or Rumi, or Emerson, or any of these other wise individuals who left behind words of wisdom for us after they left. No matter who it is, no matter how wise they are, it is foolish to follow them blindly. But it is also foolish to ignore them. So thank you, Dan, for sharing that with me months and months ago. It's been in my book ever since. I've read it countless times, and it is advice to live by. Don't ignore the wise, but don't accept what they have to tell you blindly. And don't assume that because so much of what they say is wise, everything they say is wise. Because that's never the case. No one is perfect. And even the wisest souls sometimes err. And even the biggest fools sometimes speak wisdom. Certainly you have heard the expression about a broken clock being right at least twice a day. This is why you should listen, no matter who is speaking. Because even if you know that this person is very different from you, has different beliefs, maybe they exhibit qualities which you find repulsive, even if that's the case, that person might still utter something of profound wisdom, something that will change your life for the better. They might not, but they might. So don't just plug your ears and go, la 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 la, because you might miss out on something important. So let's recap, shall we? Don't ignore the wise, but don't follow them blindly. And I guess on the flip side, we can say the same thing. Don't ignore fools, but certainly don't follow them blindly, because they will lead you astray. A lot worse than any wise person will. Anyway, I'm just happy to be celebrating 100 loaves of bread. I feel like for me personally, that's an accomplishment, and I am so happy that you have been here with me all along. that you've been watching these videos. And I know it isn't always easy. I know it doesn't always sound very nice. I know that I ramble and I don't always make sense. So thank you. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for giving me a little bit of that extra motivation to maintain this spiritual practice, which I've been developing over the last 7 to 8 months. It's been a real treat, and I look forward to many, many more loaves of bread in the years to come. Until next time, live well, my friends.